Prove your jurisdiction, ma'am. Supreme Court and the Constitution doesn't apply to this court. What jurisdiction is this court operating under? Common law or admiralty jurisdiction?
It looks like you pled guilty to one charge.
I didn't plead guilty to nothing. I didn't plead guilty to nothing, ma'am. I didn't plead guilty to nothing, ma'am. A judge was operating.
Mr. Durham.
You must prove your jurisdiction. It right now. Everything must stop and you must prove your jurisdiction right now. I want a jury of my peers. I'm an American state national, so I get 6 American state nationals as my jury. Oh, so you, okay, I understand now. The bully tactic. Don't nobody want to answer questions.
All right, everyone, buckle up. Because what you're about to see is one of those courtroom moments that makes you question if reality is still functioning properly. We've got a full-blown sovereign citizen showdown on our hands. The defendant, a man who calls himself Carlos of the Durham family.
36th District Court is back in session with the Honorable Reagan Evans presiding. While court's in session, there's no reading, walking, talking, driving, eating, smoking. When your name is called, please give your full and undivided attention to the court. Good morning, Your Honor.
All right, good morning. This is the People versus Carlos Durham. Ticket number 20397-842. Count 1, drove out license not valid or improper license. Ticket number SP1154063. Count 1, drove out license not valid or improper license. And it looks like we're here for a review on ticket number U40128517. The conviction is disorderly conduct. Good morning. Please say your name for the record.
I'm here, Your Honor. My name is Carlos. My name is Carlos of the Durham family, and I'm here as executor of the estate named in this matter and beneficiary. And I appoint you, the judge, as trustee to dismiss this matter.
You can't appoint me as a trustee. I'm not the trustee on this matter. I'm the judge of this matter. And we're not dealing with any beneficiaries or any of that. You're dealing with the defendant. And it's my understanding that you are Carlos Durham and you're the defendant in this matter.
Do I have a right to subrogation? Does the prosecutor give me the right to subrogation? Do I have a right to subrogation?
I don't even know what that is. What's subrogation?
I require subrogation.
What is that?
You don't know what subrogation is, Your Honor?
I don't.
Okay. Are these proceedings being recorded?
They are.
Is your bond and oath of office valid, current, up to date, and still in effect?
I'm an active member of the bar.
For the record, please present your bond and oath of office to the court. The prosecution bonded for this matter.
The prosecutor is not present right now, Mr. Durham, but I don't have to do that. So I'm here at special appearance, and I'm here for the purposes of demurrer. All rights reserved under my full God-given name, Carlos Lorenzo Durham, as indicated by this birth certificate. Mr.
Right
Durham,
here.
Mr. Durham,
I am also the sole beneficiary for this legal entity.
Mr. Durham, everything that you're stating does not apply to this court, sir.
So the Supreme Court and the Constitution doesn't apply to this court. What jurisdiction is this court operating under? Common law or admiralty jurisdiction? Because those are the only two jurisdictions that's mentioned in the Constitution. Which jurisdiction is this court operating under?
Either. We're operating under state law.
So it's operating under statutory? Is it operating under statutory jurisdiction, Judge? Because if it is, I need to know the rules and procedures for statutory so I can defend myself. Could you tell me where I can find a copy of that?
Mr. Durham, we're operating under the law of the city. These are city ordinances, and these are misdemeanors.
Those are not laws, ma'am. I'm American state national, ma'am.
Family walks into court ready to lecture the judge on the Constitution, maritime law, and something called subrogation, a word he clearly Googled 5 minutes before joining the Zoom call. Now, this hearing starts off like every other traffic case. The judge politely explains that Carlos is in court for driving without a valid license and, well, paying someone for a service, if you catch my drift. But instead of dealing with his charges like a normal person, this man goes full conspiracy theory lawyer mode. Prove your jurisdiction, ma'am. The Supreme Court and
Mr. Durham, these are your options today. This is, one is already set for a review because it looks like you already made admissions. It looks like you pled guilty to one charge.
I didn't plead guilty to nothing. I didn't plead guilty to nothing, ma'am. I didn't plead guilty to nothing, ma'am. A judge was operating.
Mr. Durham, Mr. Durham.
I didn't plead guilty to nothing, ma'am.
Mr. Durham, how this can work, we both can't talk at the same time. So you need to be respectful and let me say what I need to say. I've let you say what you needed to say. So you need to let the court speak now. So you've already pled guilty, sir, in 2017. Or no, your plea date actually was October 4th, it looks like. And you were charged with offer to engage the services of another for an act of prostitution. It was amended to disorderly conduct. And so we're here for a review on that matter. Have two charges of drove while license not valid or improper license. The offense date is October 18, 2020. And then there's another drove while license not valid or improper license charge with the offense date of January 14, 2021. Now, today, you can either set these for, they're already set for a pretrial. So you can set this for a trial, which it could be a bench trial where the court, meaning the judge, myself, would decide if you're guilty or not of these offenses, or you can set it for a jury trial. Those are your options, sir.
So my option today is not to challenge jurisdiction, because when jurisdiction is challenged, everything must stop and jurisdiction must be presented. You must prove your jurisdiction. It right now. Everything must stop and you must prove your jurisdiction right now.
You're incorrect, sir. I don't have
Ma'am, I'm incorrect. Your oath of office says you're supposed to uphold the Constitution and all laws pursuant. The Constitution says I have rights, and you're not giving me, you're violating my rights by not telling me what jurisdiction we're operating under. Prove your jurisdiction, ma'am.
I'm not violating your rights, Mr. Durham.
Prove your jurisdiction, ma'am.
I don't have to prove my jurisdiction.
So yes, you do, because jurisdiction, when it asks to be proven, must be proven. If you're exerting authority over me, you must prove your authority. Prove your jurisdiction, ma'am.
Mr. Durham, what we'll do is we'll set this for a jury trial. And so I
want a jury of my peers. I'm an American state national, so I get 6 American state nationals as my jury. I need the prosecution to send me my right to subrogation in writing.
Constitution don't apply here. That's literally how he starts. And from that moment forward, it's pure chaos. He keeps demanding to know whether the court is operating under common law or admiralty jurisdiction, as if he's on a pirate ship instead of traffic court. Meanwhile, the judge, calm, professional, probably running out of patience by minute 3, tries to steer this circus back on track. She tells him plainly, "Sir, this is the law of the city. These are ordinances, but of course that's not enough.
I need your oath of office and your bonding information so I can make sure you are who you say you are and who you claim to be and what your duties and responsibilities are. All public officials must be bonded. I need all of y'all for full disclosure. Am I getting full disclosure right now, ma'am? I need full disclosure before I can make any decisions.
I've told you all that. So
no, you did not tell me all that. I need the name and the address of your bonding company and your policy number to make sure your oath of office is current. I need all of that.
That doesn't apply here, Mr. Durham.
Really now? The law doesn't apply to you. You're above the law is what you're saying.
So I'm going to set this for a jury trial, sir. What I'll do is, do you want to retain your own attorney or are you going to represent yourself?
Ma'am, I'm only here for the one purpose of subrogation. Nobody has given me nothing what I asked for, but you keep trying to force yourself on me.
I'm not forcing anything. You're here for something that doesn't apply to this court, Mr. Durham. If you're here for
so why don't you dismiss the case? Because I was not driving, I was traveling, ma'am.
As a defendant. You're not here as a
No, I'm not here as a defendant, ma'am.
Beneficiary.
I'm here as a beneficiary, ma'am.
You cannot come here and tell me how it's going to work. That is not how it goes.
So I need
Now-
full disclosure. Am I getting full disclosure?
Absolutely.
Yes or no?
Yes.
What jurisdiction is this court operating under? Common law or admiralty jurisdiction? Which jurisdiction is this court operating under? Statutory jurisdiction?
Jurisdiction of the city of Detroit. Under
Is
the
that
jurisdiction-
statutory? Is that statutory? Because the city of Detroit don't get to overrule the Supreme Court or the Constitution. And it says if it tries to do that, everything you do is null and void. The Constitution overrules the law of the land, and that's what I'm under.
In order to be heard by the Supreme Court, Mr. Durham, you have to first go through the district court. And if
No, ma'am, that's not true. That's not true, ma'am.
Agree with it, then you can appeal it. But as of now, you're
I asked to see the lawyer's bond. I asked to see the attorney's bond. I asked to see the contract you have, so I can.
Do you want to retain your own counsel, Mr. Durham? He's muted. We'll just, it just looks like that you're supposed to pay the fine of $50. So we'll just have you pay that on the next day, by the next time you come back, which will be January 17th. So you need to pay the $50 by January 17th at 8:35, which is your next court date. And then your jury trial date is February 7th at 1:35. All right, so you are all set, Mr. Durham.
Mr. Durham is saying something, but he's still muted.
Mr. Durham, you are muted, sir. I don't know if you know how to unmute yourself. It's the bottom left-hand corner.
I object to these proceedings.
Your objection is noted, Mr. Durham.
Carlos insists that city ordinances aren't real laws because he's an American state national. You can almost hear the judge internally screaming while keeping her composure on camera. And honestly, I've got to give her credit. Because if it were me, the minute he said, "You're now the trustee of my estate," I'd have pressed that mute button so fast. His Wi-Fi would have filed an appeal. Then he starts asking for everyone's bond and oath of office.
So you got your jury trial date, and then you have your pre-trial date, the final pre-trial.
Okay, when is the prosecution going to send me all the evidence, including the witness, the damaged property, and the injured party's name? I need to know everybody involved. I need all this information.
Of course you do. Mr. Durham, what that is called discovery. And you have to do a request in writing.
Ma'am, I'm not part of your society. I don't have to follow those rules and regulations because you can't tell me where to find the rules and regulations for statutory jurisdiction. Where can I find a copy of the rules and procedures for statutory jurisdiction? Because that's what you're operating under, statutory law, right? A statutory jurisdiction. Where can I find the rules for that? Can you tell me where I can get a copy?
You have your request in writing for discovery, okay, sir? And she should be able to give you the police reports or whatever she has. She can email it to you so that you can prepare for trial.
Are you going to give me your oath of office and bonding information? That's including the name, address, and policy number of your bond? Are you going to give me that?
I don't even know what all of that is.
Your public officials surety bond, just in case you violate my rights. All public officials must be bonded. You don't know what a bond is?
No, I don't.
I'm gonna write the treasurer, and they're gonna tell me the name of your bonding company. I'm gonna write the treasurer
myself. So I'm giving.
So you're not bonded. So you're not bonded, is what you're saying.
I've given you all the information that you need.
Okay.
This hearing, so you are all set, Mr. Durham. Unless you had other questions, you are all set, sir.
Yeah, I do have questions, but you won't answer them. You won't answer none of my questions. Are you operating under a statutory jurisdiction, a common law jurisdiction, or admiralty jurisdiction?
This matter is concluded, so you're all set.
Oh, so okay, I understand now. The bully tactic. Don't nobody want to answer questions, but they want me to comply with. I don't understand that. How am I supposed to have compelled performance if y'all don't want to answer no question?
Like he's auditing the Federal Reserve. The judge, clearly over it, tells him it doesn't apply. But this guy isn't letting go. So you're saying the law doesn't apply to you? You're above the law? It's the sovereign citizen's classic move. Throw around phrases they don't understand and hope the judge forgets how court works. And what's wild? He's doing all this over Zoom. Like, bro, COVID ended years ago. Yet somehow we're still buffering through trials like it's dial-up internet. I can't be the only one thinking courtroom Wi-Fi has done more harm than good at this point. But back to Carlos. He's so deep in his own fantasy world that he actually demands a jury of American state nationals. 6 of them. Like, where exactly does one find those? Craigslist? Facebook groups for people who think driver's licenses are optional? By this point, the judge is trying her absolute best to keep things civil. She offers him options: bench trial, jury trial, or pre-trial. Simple choices. But he cuts her off again and shouts, "Everything must stop! You must prove jurisdiction right now!" The level of confidence this man has while being completely wrong is almost impressive. And when the judge calmly explains that she doesn't need to prove jurisdiction every time someone throws a tantrum, he doubles down and says she's violating his rights. Because of course he does. Dramatic pause. At this stage, I'm convinced these folks attend YouTube University with a major in How to Lose in Court 101. But don't worry. It's about to get even worse. Because this man thinks he's discovered a legal loophole that's going to change everything. Want to see how far he goes before the judge finally shuts him down? Let me know if you want me to continue to part 2, because trust me, it gets way more insane from here. All right, let's jump right back into the madness. Because our friend Carlos of the Durham family is about to show us just how deep the sovereign rabbit hole really goes. So after yelling, "Prove your jurisdiction," "Ma'am," for the 10th time, the judge patiently explains, again, that this is city court, under city ordinances. You know, normal stuff, but Carlos isn't hearing a word of it. He suddenly declares, "I require subrogation," and then accuses the court of violating his rights for not understanding what he means. Now, if you're wondering what subrogation actually is, it's something used mostly in civil cases when one party steps into another's legal shoes to make a claim, like an insurance company paying for damages and then suing the person who caused them. But to Carlos, this is apparently a get-out-of-court-free card. He's acting like he found a cheat code in the U.S. legal system. The way he keeps repeating the word, you'd think he's casting a spell. "I reserve my right to subrogation." Meanwhile, the judge looks like she's fighting off a headache the size of Texas. Then, and this is where it gets truly bizarre, Carlos demands the judge's bonding information, her oath of office, the policy number of her public official bond, and even the name of her bonding company. She calmly says that doesn't apply here. But Carlos snaps back, "Oh, so you're above the law? The law doesn't apply to you?" You can feel the tension building. It's like watching someone argue with a GPS for giving them the right directions. The judge, still composed, sets his case for jury trial and asks if he wants an attorney. Carlos responds, "Ma'am, I'm only here for subrogation. Nobody's giving me what I asked for." At this point, you almost start feeling bad for the judge. She's not dealing with a legal argument. She's dealing with someone who believes Google and TikTok replaced law, school. He starts insisting that he wasn't driving, but traveling, and that as a beneficiary. He's not subject to the court. She tries to explain the difference, but he cuts her off again, demanding full disclosure. She agrees, saying yes, he's getting full disclosure. And he jumps right back in with, "No, I need the address of your bonding company and your policy number to prove your oath of office." That's when the judge, and I can't blame her, just decides to move the case forward and set the next dates. January 17th for payment of a fine and February 7th for the jury trial, and while she's calmly giving him the information, Carlos is still talking, except now he's muted. Yep, the irony. After 20 straight minutes of yelling, the only time the judge can finally get through her sentence is when his mic is off. You can literally see her relief when she says, "Mr. Durham, you're muted, sir." He tries to yell back, "I object to these proceedings." And the judge just hits him with the most professional burn of all time. "Your objection is noted, Mr. Durham." Translation, "We heard you." Nobody cares. Now, at this point I have to say, watching sovereign citizens in action is like watching people speedrun losing a case. This man is sitting in his kitchen, arguing constitutional law on Zoom, convinced he's exposing corruption, while the judge is just trying to wrap up a $50 fine, sarcastically. And you just know that after this hearing, he went straight to Facebook to post, "They feared my knowledge of the law." Sure, buddy, the court feared your PowerPoint on maritime jurisdiction, and yet, somehow, it gets worse. Because now Carlos starts demanding all the prosecution's evidence, every witness, the name of the injured party, and even the damaged property. The judge tells him to file a discovery request like everyone else. But of course, he says, "I'm not part of your society. I don't follow your rules." That right there, that's peak sovereign citizen logic. They want the court to obey the Constitution while claiming they're not part of the system it protects. Finally, after what feels like an eternity, the judge wraps things up, tells him he's all set, and ends the hearing. But Carlos, still muted, keeps waving and talking like the ending credits haven't rolled for him yet, and that's when he delivers his final masterpiece. I understand now. The bully tactic. Nobody wants to answer questions, but you want me to comply. Pause, smirk. Buddy, if ignorance was a defense, you'd be walking free right now, and that's the scariest part. He's completely serious. Some of these people truly believe this stuff. They're not trolling. They're not testing the system. They're convinced they're right. Let me know in the comments what you think about how the judge handled this. Personally, I think she did great. Calm, patient, professional. But part of me wishes she'd gone full courtroom mute button from the start. Because honestly, these sovereign citizen hearings are starting to feel less like justice and more like open mic night for conspiracy theorists.